Coming up today on Homemade Live.
There are no secrets here.
I think that we should reveal everything.
We're revealing some of the most delicious secret family recipes.
And it is legendary.
YouTube culinary creator Nick DiGiovanni is cooking up a storm.
Make sure it smells good. Yeah.
Plus, I'll be learning the secret to my father-in-law's perfect pesto.
Guess what, Gino? I found the recipe. Let's do it!
It's all coming up right now
on Homemade Live.
Hey, I'm Joel, a dad, husband, and sustainable chef in Seattle, Washington. I believe the best ingredient on earth isn't what's on the plate, it's actually what's around the plate. The people, the places, the stories. That's what inspired Homemade Live. Each week we go live from our kitchen in front of a studio audience with famous friends. We share food memories and recreate them on the spot. Welcome to Homemade Live.
I love it. Thanks for being here. Let's go. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Perfect, amazing. I know I look really happy. I'm actually a little bit disturbed by today's theme, okay? I don't love today's theme. Today's theme is secret sauce. Why I don't love it? I don't know. I don't love secrets in the kitchen. You ever go to someone's house and you're like, what's in that chili? And they're like, it's a secret. I'm just like, okay. I'm a chef on TV. I think that we should reveal everything. We're not magicians. You don't have to keep it hidden. It's nice to share all that. My father-in-law does this. I swear he does this. On my wife's side, they have this pesto recipe, and it is legendary. I actually studied in Italy. I've eaten a lot of pesto. I'll turn sideways so you guys can see. A lot of pesto. I love pesto. And this particular pesto, I'm telling you, it tastes off the boat. And I asked my father-in-law, Gino, what is in this pesto? And he will not tell me. It's this big secret. One time I remember I was kind of pounding the basil, and he kept looking over. He's like, it's not fine enough. It's not fine enough. And I keep pounding. He's like, it's not fine enough. And he turned his away. And this time I didn't even actually pound it. I just did it on the table. And I go, Gino, how about now? He's like, that's perfect. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you're messing with me, man. And so the other day, this is no joke, a couple of weeks ago, I was over at his house, saw a little book sitting by the couch. Recipe book. Guess what, Gino? I found the recipe, and we're making it on PBS. Let's do it. For this first bite, we're making focaccia slathered in homemade pesto. What I love to do, get a big sheet tray like this, put some olive oil on the bottom of it. So good. And then, yeah, here's your dough, right? You just let it kind of rise. When it's a pillow like this, you kind of just press it down. And you don't want to punch it. I think, a lot of people have this tendency, they just want to, boom, maybe it's just been a rough day at work or whatever it is. But you kind of just want to spread it out when you're making focaccia. And that looks so, there's something about that I just love. And you want to kind of just use your fingertips and kind of dig into the dough and kind of stretch as you're doing that. And what that does is it just creates little pockets for this olive oil to kind of get into, right? So you kind of spread it out like this, and then you just go with a little bit more olive oil. And by a little bit, I mean, let's douse that puppy. In fact, I'm not gonna stop until you guys tell me to stop. This is a lot. Yeah, I'll keep going. Okay, I'm going the whole thing. Let's go. I mean, a little bit here, a little bit there. So, a little bit of salt over the top of that, and then you just kind of let that rest, right? And you put that in the oven, and it literally takes about, literally no time. About 20 minutes, 400 degrees, and you have really fluffy focaccia. I'll show you what that looks like. But we all can do that, right? Seems pretty easy. Ish. Okay, great. Apparently this is not easy, according to my father-in-law, but we're gonna make some pesto. There's some really specific parts of pesto. I think a lot of us have made pesto. You've seen pesto now with arugula, not just basil, or not just pine nuts, but with walnuts or cashews. So you can really make pesto whatever you want, but there's kind of a basic, formula to making this the secret best pesto ever. First is, it's really important to use a mortar and pestle. Why not a machine, like a blender or something? The blade, as it kind of spins around, it heats up the actual, whatever you're grinding, and it actually kind of cooks it. So it kind of mellows out the flavor. So it's really nice to just pound it. Also, I just think it tastes better and fresher. So we start with a little garlic in the bottom here, big pinch of salt, and you just kind of go to town. Really easy. And this is exactly how they make it in Italy. Then we get some toasted pine nuts. And this is, again, I'm like, how can I mess this up? How is he telling me I'm doing this wrong? You can tell I have like PTSD from this thing. Years of feeling rejected from my father-in-law. I can't win with him. All right, so you kind of make a paste here. It's almost like peanut butter, right? Once you get those kind of pine nuts going, really, really nice. And then you want to go with the freshest basil ever. And this is another thing that he always tells me. It's like, you should really only do this in the summer is his big thing. Listen, you can go get basil at your local, it'll be fine. But it is really nice to find just super fresh basil. And you kind of want to overload it, right? Look how good this looks. So you're going to be able to smell this in a heartbeat. It smells so good. And at first you're like, God, this is just a lot. But you really get in there and you just start kind of bashing it up. When I was in cooking school, we would have this class which was all about seasonal Italian regions and what they would cook. And they would talk about this one region, Liguria, where they would make pesto. And we would learn about it during the week, and then we'd get to go travel there. So you'd learn about it in these books. You'd be like, oh, this is how pesto is created. This is how they make it. Then you get on a train, and you can smell, I swear, you get off the train in Liguria, you can smell the basil in the air. It's crazy. And over in Liguria, it grows next to lemon groves. So my little trick here, and I tell everybody this, I'm not secret with this, is a touch of lemon zest. Honestly, they would never do this in Italy, but the basil picks up lemoniness from the trees. And so I think it kind of emulates the freshness of Italy. So you kind of grind that to a paste, and then you kind of just start drizzling in some olive oil until it's kind of that texture that we all know pesto to be, that really nice paste. Now this part's really important. Most recipes, 90% of recipes, would say add in the cheese and this is done. I mean, really fresh, just green. I mean, slather that on the sidewalk and I'll lick it off. That's good stuff, all right? But the key to this, and what Gino taught me, is to add the cheese when you're ready to eat the pesto. So don't add the cheese and then put it in the fridge. Leave it like this, and then when you're ready to make pasta or do something like that, we have a big batch here ready to go. This has no cheese in it, it's just the same stage. This is when you grab your cheese, fresh Parmesan. I mean, can someone make a pillow out of fresh Parmesan? I will sleep on that like a baby. And then you just kind of fold that in. And the reason why we do that at the very end is because cheese is salty and it brings out a little bit of the moisture. And you don't want it to bring out the moisture. You want it to kind of stay nice and fresh. So we kind of do that at the very end. And we have this gorgeous pesto. And then we'll fast forward through time. Same focaccia, same focaccia. So what I do is take this puppy out. Look how good this looks. And so you just take this pesto and you just kind of, yeah, this is not gonna suck. This is gonna be, some people will bake it on. I like the freshness of just kind of smearing it on. I mean, you could just, you could taste it, right? Exactly. This makes incredible sandwich bread. It's awesome just to have on the dinner table. And you literally just kind of slice it up just like this, and you just kind of start passing it out, and it's just heaven. I know. It's like fluffy, airy, so herbaceous, and that is our first bite of the day. Really good. You heard my story. I want to hear your story, so check this out.
Hey y'all, I'm GL Douglas. Now I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a great cook, but I am a good maker, okay? Like I can make a hot pocket and I can make a hot dog. But I have one recipe that is my go-to recipe. If you ever need to bring something to the potluck, you need something quick and simple, I'm telling you, my honey barbecue meatballs is it. 3 simple ingredients: a pack of frozen meatballs, a thing of chunked pineapples, and 1 bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's hickory and brown sugar barbecue sauce. Take a pan, put them all in there together, cover it with some aluminum foil, stick it in the oven, 30 minutes on 400, and voila, I'm telling you. And if you really want to get fancy, get a pack of those Hawaiian sweet rolls, put 1 meatball on each one, and now you got meatball sliders. I'm telling you, you will thank me later. Satisfaction guaranteed.
All right. You guys, I couldn't be more excited for our next guest, New York Times best-selling author, YouTube legend with 12 million followers. He is teaching the next generation how to cook. He is such a sweet dude. Give it up for Nick DiGiovanni.
How are you?
Oh, I so appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
They love you. They love you.
This looks great, by the way.
Is this the best looking book cover you've ever seen in your life? Dude, unbelievable. This is so cool.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, you have blown up. I mean, you're like a Beatle now. Like, can you go places and people, like, are people recognizing you left and right?
It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
It's definitely, and no matter what, whether it's one person or 100 people, I mean, it's an adjustment, right? It's an adjustment, and you just got to get used to it.
Yeah. So what is your approach to cooking? I mean, what do you think really made you this?
I mean, the simple answer is family. I mean, back when I started cooking, I wasn't over the counter. I was just trying to, and when I say cooking, I was probably grabbing things and throwing them on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just remember having that, like, seeing that passion in my grandmother and my great-grandmother, and then I just wanted more. I wanted to be a part of it. I'm part Persian, I'm part Italian, part German, so I've got all these different sort of melting pot of different backgrounds, and that meant a lot of different food.
Yeah. It must be trippy because it really is the next generation who's watching you, Nick. I mean, it's, you know, we actually have a super fan of you. We've got Jude over here. Give it up for Jude, guys.
Jude. What's up?
Jude, you watch all of Nick's videos. What recipes have you tried?
I've actually made the mayonnaise-covered salmon, and it was amazing.
Yeah, this guy slathers mayo all over salmon, which we're from Seattle. That feels like sacrilege.
Yeah.
But
But was it good?
It was amazing.
Good.
Dude, I tried it. It's insane. These recipes that you have are so simple. They almost think that they wouldn't work, and then you do it, and it totally does.
And to be fair, some of them once in a while don't work, and I don't put them in the cookbook. So.
Yeah. Well, that leads to our next bite, which we're going to be doing scalloped halibut, like scalloped potatoes, but with halibut.
Basically, yeah, it's using all the same ingredients. Scalloped potatoes. You've had like potatoes like this. You've had. I mean, I've made scallops like this, but if you coat anything in butter and cream and breadcrumbs, it's
100%.
It's gonna taste good,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah. So I grew up in New England.
Yeah.
And I was always around a lot of seafood. So I felt like I got really confident with cooking seafood.
I feel the same way. Like, I grew up here in Seattle, and like when you go to the Midwest and other places in the country, you realize that, like, they had chicken, they had beef, but they didn't do the seafood thing. And it's kind of nice to grow up on a coastal side where you get that.
Yeah, I felt very lucky that way.
Yeah.
And so what I love about this dish is it's very simple. You can use any sort of white fish that you want to, right? I mean, halibut, haddock, cod, whatever you can find, right? Whatever's fresh. And you're really just kind of coating it in all these things.
And today's theme is obviously secret sauce. What does this kind of mean to you? Like, what is this dish?
I would say my secret sauce, it's very simple, okay?
Yeah.
And going off of that love for seafood, I think the key is using some zest. Lemon juice and lemon zest.
Always.
A little bit of salt and maybe some cream. That's sort of the secret sauce that it seems so simple.
Yes.
But it can highlight pretty much all seafood out there in some way.
Dude, there's been so many times where people come over to my house for dinner and they're like, why is this so good? And it's lemon zest.
And it's the easiest thing.
Yeah, it's literally lemon zest. All right, so what's step one here?
This is breadcrumbs.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And then this is, buttery crackers.
Buttery crackers. I'm already like, what?
Yeah,
we're putting,
I
we're
know,
putting
right?
crackers on my halibut? Okay, let's go, yeah.
So we're gonna put these in here, right?
Yeah.
So mix that up. We'll put a little bit of, I mean, whatever herbs you want to.
Yeah.
You and I cook the same way, right?
Totally,
We like
simple.
to just cook, have fun.
Throw it in there, don't even measure it.
Yeah, throw it in there, don't measure it. So I'll throw those in. A little bit
By
of
the
salt.
way, his salt, Osmo.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
When did you come out with this?
2 years ago.
2 years ago? This stuff is flying.
We just,
Like, it's so popular.
the simple thing was that we just thought salt was really boring. Is the kind of, it's in every dish, but we thought it could be a little more fun.
Do you know who one of his mentors is, right? Gordon Ramsay. Like, he's cooked with Tom Brady, with Shaq. How do you get cooking with all these guys?
I don't know. It
You
just
just
sort of
reach
started
out?
happening. Yeah. Well, so Gore and I did MasterChef and his TV show.
Yes.
I was very nervous, as you can imagine, right? You walk into a room with him and you don't want to mess anything up,
No,
right?
you do not.
And so that was a little bit crazy, but he was the nicest guy ever. He's a kind of a softie, is what I ended up
Really?
realizing. Yeah,
Okay.
he was. And I learned a lot from him, and I think he gave me an extra little spark in the kitchen. And then going off of that, I think just one thing led to the next, and we'd meet these different celebrities who everyone loves food, so you just ask them to cook, and it worked out.
They're
you
in.
know? Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it was great.
All right, that already smells incredible. So
Yes, so now it's gonna smell even better. We're gonna put some butter in there to kind of make that
inside the breadcrumb mix.
So what this reminds me of is making a crust for a cheesecake, you know?
Totally.
When you want it to be nice and crumbly.
Like the graham crackers, the butter, which is like one of the best smells on earth. Oh my God.
It's the best. I see, I don't know, you make cheesecakes? Okay. All right, so we'll put a little bit of the butter in there. And once that's crumbly enough that you can sort of coat it over the top of the fish without it falling off, that's when I'm gonna take this dish here.
Yeah, a little baker.
Yep, and then we'll toss the fish.
And can you make this ahead of time? Like, could you throw the fish in there, the breadcrumb mixture on top, and like put that in the fridge for a while, or does it have to be baked right away?
Yeah, well, the reality is these aren't going to be too crispy once you finish baking it, so I think it's okay to probably let it sit in the fridge. Yeah,
good.
And I'll just pile these on top of here. Best food, I feel like it doesn't look that pretty a lot of the time. You know what I mean?
Delicious, baby.
Yeah,
Ugly
exactly,
delicious.
exactly.
I
so
love it.
I'm not. You can see I'm not trying to make this look perfect at all. I'm just piling
really
this on
good,
top. Yeah, it looks delicious. I'm just gonna kind of pat
like
it around
literally,
here.
you can smell it as the butter hits those kind of buttery
Can you
crackers.
take a little smell for us?
Yeah,
Make
give
sure it smells good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Okay.
I mean, we're not paying him. We're not paying him.
All right. Perfect.
You're about to throw cream on this, which, like, for me, very rare.
I would love you to help me out.
You want
Why
me to
don't
do it?
Do a little drizzle of cream for me.
First time
if you
on
don't
camera
mind.
I've ever been caught putting dairy on fish. Here we go. Here we go. Just right
a
over the top.
tiny little drizzle, yeah.
A little just.
That's good.
Okay. All right.
And it's as simple as that. I didn't mention while I was doing it, but I did do it already. Some lemon zest.
Yeah,
So we're gonna toss that in the oven.
Yeah, this is what
mean,
it will
this
look
is
like.
a
By the
really-
way, guys,
this is a-
look at this.
That's what it's gonna look like. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, that is.
Yeah.
Can you just whip that? Just give that a whip. Just.
Oh, smells great.
It's insane. It's insane.
It's very simple, and it's. I mean, maybe besides the fish, it's probably something you have all the ingredients for in your pantry at home.
Oh,
right?
100% it's
Yeah.
humble. So I'm sorry, how long do you bake it for?
It's however long it takes, you know?
He's the secret sauce guy. It's my father-in-law all over again.
Everybody has such a different oven, so I really think when you're cooking, you should be present. Just watch it, and you'll learn when it's done.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
like 375, 400 probably for about 10,
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Until it kind of flakes.
Yep.
That looks amazing. And then we're gonna whip up just a really simple salad, kind of inspired by your grandma, is that right?
Yes. So while you, do you mind?
Yeah, I'll be
I don't
your
want to
sous.
come into your kitchen and ask you to be my sous chef, but if you don't mind helping, that'd
Anytime,
be great.
Nick, anytime.
So yes, as I mentioned, my grandma was someone who I took a lot of inspiration from, and those right there, those toasted pine nuts. That lit a spark in my eyes. It
does have
gave me
such
a
a
little
unique-
twinkle.
yeah.
And I saw her toast those pine nuts, and I thought it was a crazy, crazy thing, right? That she transformed the flavor in these sort of simple things that I'd had before. Suddenly they were so nutty, and so, I mean, I couldn't stop eating
They're
them,
so
right?
sweet, yeah.
And so that's the secret.
This is the secret to this.
Yep.
So we've got butter lettuce, we've got fennel. We're gonna put pine nuts over the top.
Yep.
How much? Tell me when.
I mean, I like to
Again,
put a
there's no
lot of-
rules.
I like-
Okay, there's no rules. I'm going with the whole thing. You guys have learned. You've learned.
That's good.
All right. And then a little bit of apple, just kind of
Yes.
shaved.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Guys, whenever you're chopping apple, always make sure it's sitting flat. Like, don't try and chop it as it's rolly. Just so standard. Not dangerous.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right. In we go. In we go.
Perfect.
And then simple dressing, right?
Super simple vinaigrette. Yep, that was another thing that she did really well. She was always making really nice vinaigrette. You can see those chunks that
Little
are falling
shallots.
out, or a little shallot there. That's just going to
love
give
that.
right a little texture, and it's sweet. It's delicious.
That's beautiful. So if we were gonna plate one up, show me what you do here.
Let's both plate one up.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. I'll serve you first.
All right, so you just
go
kind of
ahead.
grab one. Oh my God, dude, it's falling
It's
apart.
flaky. Yeah, it's very
incredible.
delicate,
Really
right?
delicate. I got you.
Thank
I got
you, thank you.
And then a little bit of the
Okay.
salad.
Yeah, just take some.
I
salad,
love just a
toss it right on
clean
the side.
butter lettuce salad like this. Like it's just crunchy,
Crispy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great. Like as much color as you can have in food is beautiful, and with the apple and with the shallots, it's just. a
This
nice
is,
looking
dude,
thing.
guys, give it up. This is
great.
insane.
It's great.
I love it. I'm gonna put a fork in this. Yeah, dig in. Yeah, she's like, oh my God. And how about to fan number one
Yeah,
there?
I think
Delivered by the chef himself.
There we go.
I love
there
it.
we go.
You know, I learned about Nick. We both went to college. You went to Harvard, which
Yes.
is amazing.
Yeah.
And they didn't have like a cooking program there, right?
They have math, they have science, they have everything, but they didn't have any cooking.
So you made your own major?
So I decided to make my own major. Yeah, and I pushed through pretty hard.
I did the exact same thing at University of Connecticut. They didn't have, I knew I wanted to cook.
Yep.
They didn't have it, so it took me 2 years. I
Yeah.
can't believe you did the same thing.
They rejected my application the first time, and then I pushed back
Freaking
again.
Harvard.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I know, but I pushed through, and it went through, and then I got to study what I loved, and I mean that kept my cooking journey going.
Yeah, I'd say you ran with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Well, you hold like world records, like largest chicken nugget ever made. Biggest, seriously, no joke.
It's crazy.
How do you pull that off? just before I get into that, I'm so curious.
The very simple answer is that I just have a very good team, which
Yeah.
is lucky. All of these big kind of records, they're these big stunts. It's a lot of food.
Yeah.
One big part of it is we make sure every last bit of the food every time is donated, which is, I mean, so if I'm
Huge.
Yeah.
You're big on sustainability, and I love that. 3 questions for you. This is kind of our segment we like to call quick bites.
Okay.
First, weirdest thing you've ever eaten? I mean, you've done so much crazy stuff.
I will say, this sounds crazy as it sounds. My brothers and I used to force each other to eat grass when we were little kids. That's
oh my
one
gosh. Okay, I should have said edible thing. Yes, yeah.
Well, it's yeah.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
that's legit. Yeah.
it's strange. I think it may have been Japan. I ate some weird body parts from, believe it or not, a puffer fish, and it wasn't very good.
Puffer fish body parts. You might win the prize of
Yeah.
Homemade Live of
Yeah.
weirdest food. Okay, that's
Yeah.
legit. Next, close your eyes real quick.
Okay.
Best thing you've ever eaten. Best thing.
I was traveling in Ecuador. I was on a cacao farm. It was called humitas. It was a sort of corn tamale type thing. It was the most corn-flavored corn I've ever had. It was what corn
Interesting.
felt like it was supposed to taste like.
Yeah.
I was just like, it was the simplest thing I ever had. It
Oh,
was
that
so
sounds
simple,
awesome.
so good.
All right, this last one's a little hard hitting, but
Okay.
is a hot dog a sandwich? Yes or no?
That's a gut answer, I feel
That's a
like.
gut
And
answer.
my gut said no.
Why?
My gut said no.
Yeah. Okay. Whoa. Why? There's bread. There's meat. You got to explain yourself here.
I think a hot dog's in a category of its own. That's just what I think it is. I think it's just you have
Give it up for
sandwiches.
that.
You have,
I like that. I'm with you. I'm with you. Come with me. All right. Well, Nick, you've been amazing. We will not end a Homemade Live show without some sort of toast.
Okay.
And since today is about secret sauce, I wanted to make a Bloody Mary, and I
Wow.
do have a secret ingredient in this, which I know you love.
Okay.
Which is fish sauce. You a fish sauce fan?
Wow. Yes, I have a big ball at home. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not familiar with fish sauce, it smells like gym socks.
Horrible.
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 I went on my honeymoon in Vietnam with my wife, and we went on this island where they made fish sauce.
Okay.
And I tried to rope her into a factory tour, and she's like, Joel, it's our honeymoon. We are not going on a fish sauce tour. Like, that's just not going to happen. I know you're going to go virgin. I'm going to
Yeah.
go
Yeah,
do a
let's
little
do it.
bit. You just do a dash of the fish sauce right in the glass. Yeah.
And by the way, when you're using fish sauce, you don't want to go too overboard. Can we do one more quick smell test? Okay.
Yeah. How bad, Jude?
Oh,
You had to choose the easy target there. Yeah. I love it. All right, and then you take the freshest tomato juice you can, right? You just kind of pour that over some ice, right over the fish sauce. Kind of no one really knows that fish sauce is in there.
I
I'll let you
drink
do your
tomato
side.
juice straight all the
Do
time.
you really?
I really
Is it your
like
plain food, or your plain drink? People do that on the plane.
potato chips and tomato juice on
See?
the plane. all
I'm
the time.
telling you.
Yeah. Okay.
That looks good. Yeah, pour that over the top.
Perfect.
And then I'm gonna take a little bit of vodka, and this is just 1.5 ounces for me. You
Okay.
just kind of stir that in there.
Nice.
And then it's kind of choose your own adventure. I
Yep.
do like it spicy. Do you want to give it a little bit of fresh horseradish?
I would love some horseradish.
Yeah, I got a
thank you.
microplane for you right
And
here.
if a little lemon gets there from the
Absolutely.
it's gonna be great.
So I
do you
like.
want some or no?
Of course
Okay,
I do.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, good.
I actually like chewing on my Bloody Marys. Like I love it when there's like, yeah, it looks like cheese. Like
Yeah,
you
it does.
sip it and you can kind of chew and kind of break into that spiciness. A couple of beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, these
Some lemon in there,
absolutely. You can
some-
throw some bacon.
Yep.
Make your own skewers. Check this out. Isn't that kind of cool?
Wow.
Bacon, cornichon.
That's
You
fancy.
can kind of tuck that into bed. You want shrimp in yours?
I would love shrimp.
See, this is his level, right?
Yeah, this
Shrimp
is
in your drink.
That looks
Look
great.
at that puppy. Someone like Nick, inspiring the next generation. That's what it's all about. Nick, thank you so much for being here. You rock.
Thank you for having me.
This thing's nuts. You guys are incredible, and you at home, thank you so much. We will see you next time. Take care.
To check out all the recipes we made today and more, visit us at homemade.live. You'll find our free cooking class schedule where you can cook with me live in real time. I'll see you in the kitchen.